So this is worksheet 39, fraction busting continued. If we take a look at number 3, our denominators here are 5 and 6, right? So if we wanted to make a little LCD table here, we could have 5 and 6. We can go 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. And then what do we got? 12, 18, 24, 30, 36. That's times 2, times 3, 4, 5, and 6 there. So there's our little LCD table. Where do we see a multiple in common between these two columns here? Noah? 30, right? We see that 30 is the least common multiple of 5 and 6. So that's going to be our denominator that we want to achieve. Is the denominator of 30. Right? Now, x doesn't have a denominator. What fraction can we put in front of x? 1, right? We can call this 1 over 1x plus 2 over 5 equals 7 over 6x. Now we're going to have to go through and multiply each of these fractions by whatever fraction, whatever whole fraction, is going to produce a 30 in our denominator. So, what is the first fraction we're going to multiply by over here? 30 over 30, right? 30 for 30. What about the second one? What's our second whole fraction here? 6 over 6. And finally, we've got 5 over 5, right? You may be wondering, where did we get the 6 over 6 and where did we get the 5 over 5? Well, 6 times 5 is going to give us 30 on the bottom. And 5 times 6 is going to give us 30 on the bottom. So we multiply these out. We get 30 over 30x plus 12 over 30 equals 35 over 30x. Making sure that we remember we've got a variable term, a constant term, and a variable term. A lot of times we see this number on the right without a variable. So make sure you're paying attention to when there is a variable on the right. Okay, we can cross out all of our 30s now. It becomes 30x plus 12 equals 35. Our fractions are gone, so we can split our equation up. And do what? What are we going to do first? Now that we're at this point. Theo?
Subtract 12 to both sides.
We're going to subtract 12 from both sides. 35 minus 12 gives us what? It's going to give us 23? Yes. You're correct. Oh, you're definitely... See, I just got done saying don't forget about your x, and I forgot about the x myself. Great catch, Rashayla. Thank you for that. See, if I can mess that up, you guys definitely can as well. So we're not going to be subtracting 12 from both sides. What are we actually going to be subtracting from both sides, Rashayla? We're going to subtract 30x from both sides, right?
Can I use the bathroom?
Yeah, quickly. So, 30x plus 12 equals 35x. We're actually going to be subtracting 30x. Sign out, please. We're going to subtract 30x from both sides. Thank you for that catch. And we get 12 equals 5x. Was my answer key wrong? Oh, I don't know. So we got 12 equals 5x. We divide both sides by 5, and we get x equals 12 over 5. Anybody get something different on number 3? If you got 30 over 23, then you made the same mistake I did by forgetting about this x on the far right-hand side of our equation. So definitely pay attention to that. It's really easy to mess up. Okay. Questions on 3? Okay. Let's talk about number 4. So number 4, we've got 4 terms. We've got a constant term, a variable term, and a constant term. Perfect. That's what we want to see. What's our LCD here going to be? 18, right? We can tell that 9 and 3 are both factors of 18. So 18 is going to be our LCD. What can we put over this final term in here? What are we going to put that over? 1, right? So we're going to figure out what we need to multiply each of these terms by. I'm going to rewrite it. 1 over 9 plus 7 over 18x equals 5 over 3x minus 1 over 1. So now let's go through and multiply each of these terms by a whole fraction. That's going to give us an 18 on the bottom. So what's our first whole fraction here going to be? 2 over 2. Perfect. What about our next one? Well, we already have 18 in the denominator, right? So we'll just say 1 over 1. 5 over 3, what can we multiply that by? 6 over 6. And finally, we need 18 over 18. All right? So this becomes 2 over 18 plus 7 over 18x equals 30 over 18x minus 18 over 18. That first number is a 2. We've got all 18s on the bottom of our fractions now, so what can we do with those 18s? Cross them out. They go away, we cancel them out, and we're just left with whatever's across the top. 2 plus 7x equals 30x minus 18. No more fractions. We'll split our equation. What are we going to do now? What's our next step going to be here? Theo, you want to help us out?
Subtract 30x to both sides.
Sure, let's do that. Let's subtract 30x from both sides. That'll cancel them out on the right. Give us 2 minus 23x on the left and negative 18 on the right. Did I do this right? Yeah, I think so. What do we do now? We're going to subtract 2 from both sides. We've got to bring that 2 over. We get negative 23x equals negative 20. Divide both sides by negative 23. Negative signs cancel out, leaving us just with x equals 20 over 23. Can we simplify 20 over 23 at all?
No.
Nope, 23 is a prime number, so we're good to go. Like I said, we're going to get really ugly fractions sometimes with these answers, but that's okay. Questions on number 4 before we close it out with number 6 here? Okay. Down to number 6. We've got negative 7 over 20x plus 5 over 4 equals 3 over 10x minus 2. What's our LCD here? 20. Good. It's absolutely correct. Our LCD is going to be 20. So we're going to multiply 5 over 4 by 5 over 5. 3 over 10 is going to get a 2 over 2. And 1/2 is going to get a 10 over 10. I'll zoom in here just so you can see what I did because I don't feel like rewriting that whole equation again. Come on. There we go. And then if we want to be technical, we can multiply this one by 1 over 1. Because that's what's going to give us 20s. across the bottom. So we have negative 7x plus 25 equals 6x minus 10. Now what I did in that step was I multiplied all my fractions across, like 1 times negative 7 over 1 times 20, 5 times 5 over 5 times 4. I did that for all my terms, and then I just wrote what's going to be on the top. I didn't even bother writing my denominators because I was just going to have to cross them out anyway. So as you get more comfortable with fraction busting, you can go ahead and do that. But it does open you up to making more mistakes potentially, so be careful. All right, split this up. Let's go ahead and do something. What are we going to do? Maybe we could subtract 6x from both sides. Bring it over to the left. Sure, let's do that. We get negative 13x plus 25 equals negative 10. Now we're going to bring our constant over to the right, giving us negative 13x equals now what? What's negative 10 minus 25 more? Negative 35. And then we divide both sides by negative 13. Those go away. Negative signs cancel out. All we're left with is 35 over 13. Another ugly fraction, but a correct fraction nonetheless.